Now that is what you call redemption. Welcome back to Where the Superhoops Walk with myself, Luke, and today we've got Michael and Jared talking all things QPR. Michael, how good did that win feel?
It felt amazing. I think the first half we were dominating them. And I remember saying to a few people, we'll lose this game now because we were battering them first half, but we couldn't get it into the back of the net. We had a penalty shout where Paul Smith went down in the box, which I think should have been given. And then obviously we went 1-0 down, and to come back the way we did in the fashion that we did with the goals we scored, it was just brilliant as well. And a good welcome to Frank Lampard back to Loftus Road.
Oh, Jared, how was you fit? Once that final whistle went, I bet it was like a relief. Oh, we did it. We got revenge on them.
Yeah, I think after last week's injury time drama, I think when 7 minutes went up, the whole stadium just let out a groan. And to be fair, I think 7 minutes was probably just about right. But we defended so well yesterday. We were never really under any concerted pressure, I would say. And yeah, as Michael said, we fully deserved the win. First half by far the best side, letting a bit of a sloppy goal, but the way that they came back and didn't let their heads drop, I think after last week it would have been easy to go on and lose that game 2 or 3-0, but they kept going. And when they equalised, you saw Kone kind of urging everyone back because the team clearly thought that the win was there for the taking. So yeah, I'm really happy with them.
Definitely. When you take a few things into consideration, like obviously the loss, we won't mention it. I don't even say the score. The loss at the start of the season against Coventry. When you take that into consideration, when you take what happened last week, it showed real character to go 1-0 down and to come back and actually win the game, Michael. I think it shows a lot of what sort of people and characters you have within the squad.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a team that are united against sort of we had that embarrassment earlier in the season. We turned it around. I think all the players were fired up for it on a personal level, not only because we were embarrassed at the start of the season, but also the way we lost against Wrexham as well the week before. Kone, it shows why he should play at the number 9 and just a number 9. He had a good header sort of on target in the first half that the goalkeeper pulled out a good save. And the finish to equalise was what we were all saying at the start of the season, how good he is at finishing. And I think with the injury of Burrell, we need him to start firing in these goals. But I think we have to talk about Madson as well. It was his best game in the QPR shirt. And this season, what Marty did to the guy is unforgivable. I think he's come in this season under Stefan with the confidence to dominate the midfield. Always looks to be moving forward with the ball. He's good on the ball, and the assist was fantastic, and the finish as well for the winner as well was great. It's just a brilliant performance.
He's really stepped up, hasn't he, Jared Madson? He's a player that, like Michael said, he's had some tough moments in the QPR shirt, but yeah, he had a really good game against Coventry.
Yeah, I actually can't believe the kind of turnaround in his form. If you had said to me this time last season that he would be the number 1 contender for player of the season, that I would have thought in the summer there's going to be bigger clubs looking at him. I would have never ever dreamed it would turn out this way. And I think the thing that he's developing is his leadership skills. He was balling players out if they weren't chasing back. He was really being a leader, and I think yesterday was the first time I've really seen that side to him as well. Yeah, he's player of the season by an absolute mile. And again, I don't want to tempt fate, but if he got injured, we would be in a really bad position because there's nobody in that squad that comes close to being able to do what he can do. And I think going back to what Michael said about kind of the character, we also lost Dembele in the first half after 20 minutes, so another injury to add on. And I think everyone was a bit surprised that he brought on Daniel Benny because he's kind of young, inexperienced, a bit lightweight, but actually he grew into the game and did really well, I thought. So yeah, but yeah, Madson deserves huge credit.
Definitely. Another fan favourite return to the club was Ronnie Edwards, and it's nice to see him actually starting the game, and he played a full 90 minutes, if I'm correct in saying. A full back, Michael, was you impressed with him?
Yeah, I think it's a position that we didn't expect him to play in when we signed him, but we signed him because of his versatility. We know he can drop up to midfield if we need him to. We know he could play anywhere along the back line, and he had a good performance. I feel like Coventry weren't the Coventry that we played back in September, so it didn't give him much of a game. But for your first 90 minutes back in football for a few months, it was a good performance, and he looked like the Ronnie Edwards that we had on loan last season.
Yeah, definitely. Do you expect Jad to obviously end up being more of a centre half, or no, he's filling gaps at the moment? Is that kind of where you see him playing for his the main majority of his QPR career?
Yeah, I think the club have brought him in for that position, but to be honest with you, like Steve Cook and Jimmy Dunn, they're undroppable at the moment. They've been outstanding, bar 5 minutes last week. I think we've let in 1 goal in 4 games if you take out that Wrexham game. Cook has been an absolute monster at the back. Jimmy's gone back into the middle. So at the moment, there's no space for him there. Personally, I would probably keep him at right back, even though Benge's back on Friday. I just felt a little bit more settled with him there, and not somebody who maybe you just feels got a bad tackle in them or something erratic. So for me, I would keep the back four how it was yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. This obviously that was a good signing quite early in the window. Deadline days here. Do we expect any other bodies to come in and out, Michael? Is there any other positions you're looking at going, oh, I hope we bring someone in?
Yeah, I think I'd like us to bring in another player, but I don't see it happening. I think we are going to go in the next few months hoping that some players coming back from injury. But if Walsh keeps up the form he's been in, defensively we look okay. I'd like another bit of cover in the defensive line. But yeah, I think overall we are going to go finish the window with the Ronnie Edwards signing and the Justin the Bookroom signing, and it'll be a good window. I think we're not fighting for anything this season. I think we just need to make sure that we finish the season positively, and then in the summer, I think we'll have a few additions in the team.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a bit of an inconsistent season so far, Jared. Is that fair to say? Are you with Michael? Would you be happy with sort of just consolidating, keeping a strong squad together, sort of building on this season into next?
Yeah, I think if you're realistic, I know we're 4 points off the playoffs, but you're relying on 5 teams, I think, to kind of drop points, aren't you? So realistically, I don't think we're quite there yet, especially with the injuries. If we got players back quickly, then I really think we could go on a run. But between now and the end of the season, you've got to kind of end on a positive note. You want to see performances like we put in yesterday. You don't want to get to March or April with the season over and just put in half-hearted performances in. But while the gap's only 4 points, I would have thought the players are going to be thinking, you just never know, do you, in this league? So I think we've still got to play a lot of the teams above us. We've still got to play Preston away, Millwall away, clubs like that. So yeah, you just never know.
You don't. That's the beauty of the Championship in particular. It's such a crazy league. Anyone can beat anyone, and you go on a little run, especially with it being Tuesday, Saturday games, etc. You go on a little bit of form, and anything can happen. And next up, Friday night under the lights, which is always a beautiful game, is Charlton. They're probably struggling. They obviously had a great victory at the weekend, but they've had some poor results prior. What are we expecting, Michael, and what's your score predictions for the game?
I think it'll be a tough game. It's never fun playing a Nathan Jones side, especially when Lyndon Dykes is scoring for them. But I think it's a must-win game. If we're going to be serious about competing and trying to get into the playoffs, the players are going to be well up for it. And there'll be good atmosphere in the stadium. I think we'll I think we'll leave with a 2-1 win, but I think Dykes will score.
Oh yeah, it was a good finish from him, but in the game prior. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Jared, would you expect? Do you expect QPR to keep Dykes out? Do you expect QPR to go on and get 3 points?
Well, I think Charlton's result yesterday, I think anybody in Championship, League One or League Two could have beaten a 10-man Leicester side. They're in dire straits, aren't they? And 10 men, like they were always going to lose that game. I think again, it's a real kind of test of where we are, because having beaten the best team in the league, it would, I don't want to say it, but it would be typical QPR to go there, roll over Dykes and Kelman to score 1 goal each and lose. I think the fact that we're playing before everybody else, it will give the players that kind of motivation that if we win, we're on the verge of the playoffs, put a little bit of pressure on everyone else. And I think there's proper leaders there now. So I think, like Michael says, I think it might be a really close 2-1 win.
Yeah, you're right as well. I think playing sometimes the first game of the weekend can be a good thing, because you set the marker then, don't you? You know you've done your job. You can sit back on Saturday and watch the rest of the games and see what happens. But yeah, I like the optimism, guys. It's feeling good. We've been quite optimistic the last few weeks. I like it. Right, we're on to the A to Z feature now, which we're on to the letter O. Flying through them, not many left. So the letter O, please, Michael, for QPR.
Yeah, so this is a tough one. It's between two players for me. For a few years, Neda Manua was our captain. Didn't really do anything in a QPR shirt, and I think was open about only being here for the money. But the player I'm going to go with is Gary O'Neill. He had 29 games playing for us, but he had that moment in the player final, which I think is as important as Zamora's goal. Derby were through on goal. He took the red card in the 60th minute. We played the rest of the game with 10 men. But that moment, and football is all about moments, was important. And I think that's why many QPR fans hold him in fond memory.
Like you say, it's about moments, and yeah, what could have been if that didn't happen. So no, brilliant. Jared, what about you, mate?
I'm going a bit more obscure than that. I'm going to go for a player called Richard Ord. He actually never played a game for us. We signed him in 1998 from Sunderland, and he was highly rated defender. I think we probably paid about 1.5 million. For us at that time, it was a lot of money. And he got injured in the pre-season friendly, and then battled this injury for 2 years without ever playing for us, and unfortunately retired in 2000. I think he was 30 years old, so quite a sad story, but kind of typical of QPR at that time, when things just weren't going well for us, and the little bit of money that we did have, we kind of threw it away on someone that just couldn't get fit. So
what a shame.
A bit of a sad story.
What a shame for your career to get.
There's not many great players with O. Yeah.
Gucci Onyewu is a bit of obscure one.
Yeah.
The one Gucci Onyewu.
There was another guy called Fernando Di. We had someone called Fernando Di Ornelias, a Venezuelan player, and we signed him, and I was like, oh, this guy's going to be good, man. South American, a bit skillful. I think he played 2 games. One of them was away at Notts County, I think. And I was looking at his career stats earlier, and he only played 125 games in his whole career. Kind of,
Right. That says it all, really. That says it all. Right, we are on to tweet of the week to finish. It's actually got 2 tweets for you. The first one is I just loved it. It was QPR, and revenge is ours, and I love that little play on word, and it really shows that the club. We mentioned it last week. I think they probably put a little cross in the calendar, didn't they, after the game earlier in the season, and was like, right, that we have to win this game. And then the second one is just 2 words, and it's King Kone. Let's talk about both. Obviously, we have spoken about how sweet it was to get revenge against Coventry. So let's also talk about Kone. Do we expect him to, or we like to see him go on to a bit of a goal scoring run? Michael, can you see that happening?
Yeah, I can see it happening. I think if he stays in the position that he's meant to be in and doesn't drop back, he will score goals and he'll get in the position to score goals. Obviously, he relies on having a good ball in to him as well. But yeah, I can see him going on a bit of a run now, and hopefully against Charlton on Friday, he scores again.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Kone, is it a player, Joe, that you're looking at that could really help QPR carry on with the season and end successfully?
Yeah, I thought yesterday was his best game. Actually, I thought he occupied the centre backs, and I think it's something that maybe he's been a bit too lightweight. But he used his size, he used his strength. They knew they had been in a game. I've seen quite a few Coventry fans commenting on social media at how good he was. I just his goal was incredible, and there's one angle where you can see just how difficult it was. But it was his performance that impressed me. And like Michael said earlier, we signed him thinking he was going to be a number 9, like a proper centre forward. And yesterday he really showed what he's all about. And I think if he can add goals, brilliant. But I think his performance yesterday is what he should build on. And yeah, I think we forget how young he is really, and how inexperienced he is. So I think we've been a little bit impatient with him at times, but I'm sure that he'll come good.
Yeah, definitely. You are right. He doesn't really play like a young player either, and obviously we all know his journey. He's come through the leagues and the divisions, and he's a player that he has that bit about him that's little edge that you get playing in sort of like the lower leagues, don't you? And I think that's important, especially in the Championship. It's a very physically demanding league. Yeah, brilliant, guys. Thank you for a great conversation as always. Let's hope for 3 points. See what happens come Friday night. And thank you everybody for watching at home. Please like and subscribe, and please comment below talking all things QPR.